Okay. Hi, everyone. We are going to, in this video, go through the 1002 to 1005 Trojan War Part 1 small group activity. So if this is 1002, then my group 1s will be doing this, and if this is 1005, then my group 2s and 3s will be doing this. So I'm going to read through the Trojan War Part 1, so just do keep in mind that this story continues on, and on the 6th and the 7th, that is when we will take a look at the second part of this, but for this assignment, we are only looking at Part 1. So to answer questions on our assignment, we need to make sure that we are using race to answer questions about the text. So we have these questions here. Whenever we want to answer the question, we first restate the question, which basically just means we move the wording around to make it the beginning of a statement rather than a question. After we restate the question, we answer the question, and that is a complete sentence by itself. Next, you're going to cite a piece of evidence, and this will usually just prove that the answer that you gave for the question is indeed true. And then you're going to explain your evidence. So after you put that quote down, you're going to explain in a third sentence, explain your idea or explain your evidence. So explain how the quote you picked helps answer the question or how it makes sense. So to pre-read our questions, we have the question, why are the Greeks and Trojans preparing for battle? And basically this is just asking what conflict caused the Greeks and the Trojan to battle one another. So there's some kind of conflict between these two groups. We need to figure out what is that conflict? What are they not getting along about? Question 2, what does the author mean when she says Menelaus was hungry for the fight in paragraph 6? Cite clues that show what hunger for the fight looks like in the actions and thoughts of Menelaus. And for question number 3, this is our last question. In paragraph 5, Paris offers single combat rather than a full-scale battle. What does his offer of single combat say about the type of person that Paris is and what he values? So we have a few things in here. We know that this one for sure is going to be found in paragraph 6. This one is definitely going to be found in paragraph 5. And then we just, again, need to figure out where in these few paragraphs the battle is taking place, or why the battle is taking place. So if we click on the Trojan War, the first page is actually just going to be a list of characters and some of our vocab words that we worked on in the whole group. So it starts with around 700 BC, a Greek poet named Homer wrote an epic poem called the Iliad. Epic poems are long narratives that describe heroes and important events in verse. Many are based on myths, and the Iliad is no exception. It's about a Trojan prince named Paris who kidnaps Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world. This angers Helen's husband, a Greek king named Menelaus. With the help of many famous Greek heroes, Menelaus launches a siege on Troy to get her back. So this starts with all along the shoreline, or the seashore, men began polishing their armor and harnessing the chariot horses. Bronze glittered in the sunlight, and the earth shook with the thunder of heroes' feet as the Greeks prepared to attack. The thunder of heroes' feet as the Greeks prepared to attack. From inside the city, the Trojans saw what the Greeks were doing. At once, they prepared to meet them. They marched out through the Seine Gate and formed lines on a mound called Thorn Hill, but they weren't looking forward to the fight, and there was still a chance of avoiding a full-scale battle. As the Greek army approached, Paris stepped out of the Trojan lines. He was dressed in panther skin with his bow in his hand. Is any Greek brave enough to meet me in single combat? He shouted. If we settle the war like this, hundreds of lives will be saved. Menelaus leaped forward instantly, hungry for the fight. He was eager to kill Paris and win back his wife. Glaringly furious at the Trojans, he began to buckle his armor. So go ahead and use that reading. If you need to kind of scroll back in the video, that is fine to kind of re-listen to some of the parts and try to find quotes to answer all 3 of your questions. I will see you all on Monday.